Hello everyone and welcome back to Mac Island. This is Mac Plays on Mac and you are now entering episode 5 of Mac Island. I don't know if you remember, but last episode we played the game in high setting. And the truth is, the game looked amazing, but it was a bit stuttery and slowing down as soon as I was moving the camera around. So I decided to use the medium settings in this episode and see how much smoother the experience can be and how bad are the details. So today we are gonna try to make our city a bit more realistic, and for this we're gonna use some of the mods that we previously downloaded on the Thunderstore, and we are gonna add more trees, more paths, more park, just to try to make a city more enjoyable and real. And we are gonna start this by filling most of the empty parcels that we have all around Broadway. Starting with this one right there next to our middle school that we built 2 episodes ago. We're gonna put a bit more density since that area has kind of been reworked on, or we're gonna say rezoned. To keep the city in check, I'm gonna make sure that we're not gonna have big giant building built. So for this, when we're gonna zone them, we're gonna make sure that they are only zoned on a few squares. Indeed, that will just keep them contained to only a few stories high. Remember, our city is not even 10,000 people yet, so we want to make sure that the buildings are not out of space. We are also adding pathway in between the building to make sure that the walkability is very good in this area, being a bit more urban. Coming from Europe, we do have a lot of walkable spaces. Alright, now let's take a look at the result and see how we developed. This seems a perfect height, not too much. Even that little building over there that's a bit higher than the rest could be used as our main point, focus of the area. Building on uneven terrain has always been a challenge with City Skyline 1, and I thought so with City Skyline 2, but I actually found out this amazing thing that when you force a retaining wall on a road like this, you will just make it much even to the base of the road and look so much more natural. That's actually a technique that I'm going to use in the future, and you're going to see a result that's going to be mind-blowing. I found it a bit odd that we have low residences housing in front of the town hall, the city hall, so I decided to replace it with a much more accurate commercial area. And we're also going to do the same over there next to the park. Okay, let's take a quick pause and have a look at the seasons changing the way. And now we're gonna add a bit of realism by planting some trees all around the buildings and in the pathways. And it's crazy to change just how a bit of vegetation can make the place so much more realistic. Just look at that. Alright, now it's time to fill in that empty spot next to the high school. It's a very unusual lot shape, and to fill in we are gonna have to break from our grid, and I'm gonna try to make a bit more banded roads. So you're gonna find out that I am actually still gonna try to make some small lot to just maximize the amount of space we can actually zone. But this road created a very awkward shaped lot, so I think I'm gonna create a park in the middle of this one. Here is an issue which I'm assuming is due to line tool mode. Indeed, when I was trying to plop the park, it was not reacting as normal. I had to actually exit out of it and relaunch. pathways and trees are really the key to the details. It just improves the quality of life so much more. You can walk much more easier. You can literally go to all of the places you want. You can walk your dog. It's good for your mental health. It's just much better and improve also the value of property around them. Dragging surfaces sometimes can be very capricious, like just if you make a wrong angle, the whole surface is going to disappear just like this. Et voila! After about an hour and a half of planting trees and creating pathways, here is our new neighborhood. On top of this, we are also gonna add a back area to the city hall to make it a bit look more grand. Unfortunately, there is no direct connection between the actual city hall and the path, but let's make our imagination do the rest of it. To have all of this property blend more together, I decided to get rid of the manicured grass on all of them. The goal was to have them all more like blend together. Here you can see me lose a battle with the delete tool. I was not able to get rid of these bushes for whatever reason. Alright, this area is getting pretty filled up. Take a look at this. Alright, let's zoom out and see where do we need to add more things. So there is a park over there we need to add, but also we're gonna add some tree over there by these retaining walls right there. Since I want to make it look like it's a newer area, we're actually gonna plant some teenage kind of trees in their younger times, I guess. Or young trees. Let's just go with this. And now we are planning a micro neighborhood on the other side of the city hall. On this one, we're gonna make it much more denser than the other one by using single row housing and a little park in the middle. It's gonna be some expensive lots. As you can see, I'm having some big difficulties with the road and the way the houses are getting spawned. I had to work a couple of times and build some path just to make the zoning go on the other side of the road. Anyway, it took me a while to figure it out, but at the end, we made it, finally. As you can see, the retaining wall is one of my favorite tools right now. It just helps to create the same level so much easier and makes the houses much more perfect, much more straight, and in another way, like realistic. I do love that tool. No more bumpies, no more lumpies. And here's the neighborhood we came up with. Look at the amazing views they have now. At least the front houses, I guess. And the other one on the park. Alright, let me fix that one little houses that I forgot to just do as a small and a small on the other side, just like this. And now that we're done with that neighborhood, we're finally gonna work on the social security building, and again add an extension to the back to make it look like it's continuing all the way, and adding some extra parks as well. So we're gonna put some rows of trees and bushes over here. Unfortunately, we cannot plop much more accessories unless we go into the developer mode, but that's something for a different episode. Right now, I guess I'll try to find a different way. Until then, we'll just have to use our imagination. Another moderated issue is, for whatever reason, I cannot change the type of tree. And now we're gonna also put more green landscape manicure grass on the other side as well. Oh, here we go. Great town. Amazing. Now let's fill that gap with some offices areas. And I guess I overestimated the need for the office spaces because it's not getting filled up anymore. We are getting ready to add more industrial area to our city, and we're gonna push it to the outside of the city itself, okay? So first we're gonna remove all of the trees, and while we are doing that, I decided to actually even go further out and remove all of the tree underneath buildings as well. Just in case it may help to save some FPS, who knows in the future. Building the bones of our new extended industrial area, I had some issue to make everything work perfectly. As you can see me, like I did a lot of delete and rebuild. And also for whatever reason, I just saw this car accident just by yourself. And now we're gonna get this area ready for a new connection to the highway system. So I had to flatten it a bit, as well as making sure they were on the same level on both sides of the banks. Now we just need to connect that brand new bridge to the main road, and for that we're just gonna keep prolonging it, and finally we're gonna use a simple curve road tool to connect to that node, and we're gonna do the same on the other side, just like this. To connect that road with the highway, I decided to go with a very simple interchange. And the best way to do it was to use the complex curve tool, and it made it so smooth. After that, you just have to add the braking and accelerating lanes, and on top of it I'm also going to make two roundabouts just to keep a smooth flow going with the exiting and entering vehicles. I was not very satisfied with the old bridge look from the bridge to the intersection, so I decided to add a bit more dirt to make it more like a simple road. For the same reasons, I decided to have some infill underneath the bridge as well to make it the shortest span possible. And this is what we ended up with. This is now the end of the episode. I really hope you enjoyed what we did today. A lot of detailing, trying to make it look more realistic, filling the gap into some of our roads, adding more property, especially commercial zoning, and finally adding another connection to the highway. So let's take a look at this. Merci beaucoup à tous. Thank you so much everyone. I'll see you next week. Au revoir et à la semaine prochaine. Bye bye.